great day, attractive thinker. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance. Dr. Toni Hatton here, your break the cycle specialist. Get to the root. This is what we do here as your identity coach. We support you with the mental tools that you need to uproot those paralyzing thoughts that are blinding you from seeing that the things you desire really are possible. Those dreams that you have, those goals that you have, the things that you imagine and visualize and, daydream about, they're real things. And this is why we're here to support you with living life beyond the break. We all experience breaks in our lives, heartbreak, break in success, whatever it might be. We need to know how to live beyond the break, beyond that experience, beyond the defining moment. So many Beyond the Break episodes that are available for you that I highly recommend that you watch again. Watch these episodes again. There's one called Now What? Like Beyond the Break, after the defining moment. How do I live now? And there's so many wonderful other episodes. Welcome my co-host, Tichet Bradshaw, the visual encourager.
Happy Mindset Monday, everybody. It's a wonderful day to do what we've never did, to go where we've never gone, and to have what we've never had before. Today is such a great day to be alive.
Yes, it is, attractive thinker. Today is a great day to be alive. I want you to think about that. You're breathing, you're moving, you can think, you can hear, you can experience this message we're about to share with you today. It is a great day to be alive. I want you to understand something. You may not be feeling like that. You might say, well, I don't feel like that, Dr. Toni. I don't feel like I'm excited to be alive. I want you to understand something. Do you know that your perception, your mind, your thoughts, how you feel can shift with just one word, with just one new thought, with just one experience, or one hello, or just one of something. It can shift everything about what you're feeling right now because you've experienced it before. This is not the first time you may have not felt like it's a great day. We all go through days like that where we're dragging and we don't feel like doing the same thing all over again, or whatever it might be, or we don't feel like, doing that new thing. It's challenging. We need courage to do that. We all wake up a different way. We don't wake up the same way every single day. But what I want to share with you is this: the life that we are living, this is your historical moment. Think about that. Think about the people you admire, the leaders, the great minds, the Einsteins of the world, the Martin Luther Kings of the world. I want you to think about the greats and the stories behind them that they shared, that they lived. Think about the stories in the history books that they taught us as children of who was great and who invented this and who created that and who accomplished this and who was awarded that. Did they know at the time? Not just did they know, but was their goal to create a historical moment? No. Their goal was to solve a problem. Their goal was to lead in a certain way, to lead the masses. Their goal was to accomplish something. And it went down in history. We could use the Bible for the same example. When Paul was writing letters from prison, did he know that he would be written in the book? When Moses was leading the children of Israel by the millions, did he know that his life would be used as an example for us in the book? Did Joseph know that when he was betrayed by his own brothers who hated him for the dream, they didn't hate him because of something he did or something, that happened. They hated him for just having a dream, sharing his dream with them. Did he know when they threw him into a pit and put animal's blood on his beautiful coat of many colors given by his father? Did he know that he would one day deliver his family? from a famine, from starving to death? Did he know when he was thrown in prison and felt like he was forgotten down there? Did he know that his life would be told for generations to come about the faith that he had and the favor that was on his life and how he just kept holding on and kept believing? His life, did he know his life would be told as a story, as an example, a historical moment? Did they know at the time that they were creating and living a historical moment? No, they did not. And that's what we want to share with you today. You're a historical moment. People are going to read you. They're going to read your life and your accomplishments and your perseverance and your passions and your gifts. They're going to read that. You are a historical moment. You don't have to be an Einstein to be a historical moment. Tichet, talk to our attractive thinking audience today about how is it, how should they see themselves as a historical moment? What does that mean?
When you're in a historical moment, that means that what the moment that you're living right now, the thing that you're creating, the gift that you're carrying, the words that you say, the problem you're trying to solve, that means it can shift and change for generations to come. It can help this moment that you are in can help other people get delivered. It could be a story that could go in the movies. You know, I was thinking while you were talking about historical moments, I had just finished watching that Salt and Pepper movie, and in the movie, they didn't know that they were going down to be as historical as legends as they were. They were excited to be, but in the beginning, they didn't know. They were just trying to rap. They wanted to make it big. All they had was a dream, you know. But for all the stuff that was in their movie, I'm sure while they were living it, they didn't think that this would be the part that would help with the deliverance, or this might be how we get to being our great self, because you never know what dots need to connect to get you to the point, you know, to become historical. You never know what, how does one wake up and look in the mirror and say to yourself, today, this is a historical day. This is going down in a movie. Most of the time, they don't. You have your affirmations, yes, true, and we should, because that those affirmations allows you to have enough energy and enough desire and enough tenacity to be able to do what you do in order to create a historical moment, right? But those historical moments that we all talk about, like the ones we all know, they morning, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna deliver everybody today. You talked about Moses, Dr. Toni, and when God called Moses to deliver the people from Pharaoh, the first thing he did was give God back the limitations of why he can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't trying to create a historical moment. He was just trying to be obedient. He ended up being a lot of those historical people, all they did was have perseverance. They had the ability to not to give up. He kept going back. He kept accepting it. He kept allowing himself to be used. And so this historical moment that you're in, all it takes is one word. All it takes is one story, one thing to happen, one book, one tape, one song, one art, one poet, you know, one poetry, one breakthrough, one decision. Some of us are just one bold decision away from living the life we want to live. Now, that one bold decision can be your historical moment right there. That's the historical moment that comes out of you, because that bold decision don't only set you free, it set the people free who come after you. There's people waiting and watching who don't know that they have the ability to break free, but you know you can break free. You know what you're looking for. You have your desires in hand. You have the ability to go forward. A lot of people might not even have that. But once they see you break free and go forward, they'll know that they can and start to dream. Sometimes your moment right now will trigger somebody else to be able to know that they can. And together, we put the big picture together. Together, we put the puzzle pieces together. So when we think of historical moments, such as we talk a lot about Harriet Tubman. She woke up that day and said, "I wanted to be free. I'm determined to be free." She had the determination to be free. She did not wake up that morning and know that she was going to take people back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. All she did was make a path for herself and then come back and take people through the same path that she went through over and over and over again. And she said she could have delivered more if she could have convinced them that they weren't free. But some people are not used to being free, and some people can't even have the thought of being free. So they stick to what's familiar. They stick to the enslavement that they're used to. They stick to the boundaries that has been hindering them all their lives. That's what they're used to. So it's hard to tell somebody, "Oh, you're still trapped," or if a person is in ego and you go and tell them they're still trapped, they're gonna be like, "What? Me?" They're gonna get so caught up in the look of what being entrapped means, like it's a weakness, that they're not even gonna look to see that the answer is given to them right now. The answer is being presented. So when we're presenting to them the fact that they can be free, we have to be mindful. Everybody's not ready for that freedom. That's like shutting on the lights for somebody that's been in the dark all day. The first thing they go is, "Why you got that light on? Turn it off, turn it off." They don't, it's hard to see at the time because their eyes have to adjust. But then there's some people who know light is good, flip the light, and I'll take whatever it has. I'll take what it has to give. So you flip the lights on because you don't deal with darkness. So you have to know who you're talking to so that you don't miss out on your historical moment and you don't miss out on giving an historical moment. Because some of us, we might help the people that comes historical. Some of us, we might, how did Gail help Oprah? How did Oprah help Gail? They both, I'm sure, played a key part in their lives. I'm sure there's a lot of celebrities out here that help other ones get to where they're going. So you just never know if the words you speak today will go down in the book or go down in the movie about you. Let's think about that for a second. That movie about you, what all is going to be included in this movie? Is it that moment that was boring where you just got everything you wanted and then that's it? Or is it going to be that moment where you persevered, that moment where you didn't give up and you were able to push, push, push until you broke free? What's going on in your movie? Who do you see playing your movie? Who played a major role in your success? Who played a major role in you being who you are to this day? Because the person you are this day is amazing. It's amazing in itself. So who played a key role? So today, what if I told you today is your historical moment? How will you walk this out? You're not going to walk it out crying all day and feeling sorry for yourself and not thinking that you can make it. No, if this is your historical moment, you're going to give it all you got. You're going to take the moment that's presented to you today and just simply make it the best out of it that you can. Just make the best out of the moments that you're given. And listen, if that moment requires you to take a step, then this time you add trust and you take a step. Trusting that the step will appear as you move, as you go forward, that step will appear. So when you understand that any moment of your day can change your whole outcome for tomorrow, and also those that's coming up behind you, as a historical moment, it can change it. You'll be more likely to be awake and aware and conscious of the moments that is granted to you. Back to you, Dr. Tony.
Awesome, 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 Tichet. Attractive thinking, when we're talking about this historical moment that you're living right now, I want you to get that in your spirit. Take out your attractive thinker notebook and write that down. I am living my historical moment right now. right now, not after your circumstances are over, or after you pay off all of your debt, or after you feel like you got free, or after your vacation, or after you get married, or after you get a divorce, or after you have a child, or after your children get grown and move out. Your historical moment is happening right now, attractive thinker. And when we get that awareness, that clarity, that knowing about this particular moment, we make adjustments, we live better, we think better, we feel better, we purpose to feel better in our day. We are more intentional about our emotions and our thoughts and our actions and the accomplishments, the successes that we have throughout the day. We're more intentional about how we manage our energy and distractions and our focus and things like that. When we're crystal clear that we're on the stage of life right now, living our historical moment. So it calls for us to get crystal clear. You might want to take a piece of paper in your Attractive Thinker notebook and write down how you want your historical life to look like. What do you want your historical life to look like? If right now you're living your historical moment, what do you want that to say to people? How do you want them to view that? What is your historical moment? What will they say? Because they will say something. I've been to several funerals, and I'm sure you have too. And if you listen to some of our episodes before, you heard me mention about going to funerals and people, saying things. Everybody comes to the mic. People come to the mic and they want to say something. And if you've been, following the Attractive Thinker movement for a while, you may have heard me say, I don't want anybody standing over top of me talking about, oh, that Dr. Toni, she was so funny. Really? That's not my historical moment. That's not my legacy. Now, I love comedians and comedy just like the next person. That's their calling. And there are a lot of comedians that have come and gone, and we can definitely say that was their legacy. They were hilarious, but that's not my calling. You don't want somebody standing over top of you saying, my goodness, ain't so and so really could make them sweet potato pies, and that was it. Yes, I love sweet potato pie too, but what is our historical moment? What is our legacy? How will we be remembered? What are we creating right now that we don't even know will be written and shared for generations to come about you? We do it now, Tichet. We have family members who have moved on and transitioned, and we have wonderful, fond memories of them, things we laugh about. We try to mimic their recipes and it don't turn out the way they did it. We have all of these incredible memories of our family members, but we have to realize we are living our historical moment right now. In the Attractive Thinker store, there's a t-shirt that we have. It's called Create, Live, and Leave a Legacy that speaks when you no longer can. It's going to happen. And the way that your legacy speaks when you no longer can, it has to be written, recorded in audio or on video. That's how you exist in both worlds. So I want you to think about your historical moment. If what your life looks like right now is your historical moment, how you'll be remembered for generations to come, are you comfortable with it? I remember that defining moment I had. I was in the kitchen, my kids were younger, and I was mopping the floor, and I heard a voice say, if today was the day, are you comfortable leaving your kids in the condition that they're in? And it startled me. It startled me because I knew I had a lot of work to do as a mother, as a parent. And I'm sure all the parents that are listening to this message, you can relate to that. Oh my God, like, no, because I want to set up this fund for them and this foundation. I want to make sure they know this. I need to talk to them about that. I need to show them where this is and where that is. And I want to explore the world with them and show them. I want to walk through different. I want to be there for them, in different milestones in their lives. No, if today was the day, am I comfortable leaving my family in the condition that they're in? No. So that's your work. That's your to-do list. That's what your focus is. See, a lot of times we don't know what we want to do with our lives. I encounter clients like that all the time. They don't know what their purpose is. I've actually had a client who it never even dawned on this particular person that they should have a purpose, or that they're here for a purpose, or they didn't even have a childhood dream or goal. That was the first time I had encountered anybody that hadn't even considered, because the life, the way they grew up, it was all about the struggle. Nobody, you don't have time to think about a dream when you're struggling. Think about that. And kids, as a child, children do what their parents tell them to do. You can't go run off and out of your comfort zone and go chase some dream when you're a kid. Think about that. So when it comes down to our historical moment, if you did not know how you wanted to live your life or what you want your historical moment or legacy to be, all you have to do is ask yourself, is this how I want to be remembered? Is this how I want Aunt so and so? What this is what I want her to say about me? Is this what I want my children to say about me? Is this what I want my clients and customers to say about me? Is this what I want my followers to say? How I want to be remembered to the people, my family and friends, my church or my business or the job or whatever, my organization, my association? Is this what I want them to have to say about me? The life I'm currently living right now. And if the answer is no, then you know exactly what historical moment you want to be remembered by and spoken about you. All you have to do is just add, do the math. Add those two together. If that means if you don't want to be remembered by this, then you must want to be remembered by that. See, we have to sit down and get crystal clear and then start putting that into action, start walking that out. Because have you ever had someone in your life to say, oh, I love you, or oh, I'm your friend, or oh, I got your back? I believe that if you love me, if you, oh, I respect you, oh, you can trust me. I believe that if I can trust you and respect you, and you have my back and you love me, then you don't have to say it. I automatically know it. In order for you to have to say it, then it must not be active. It must not be activated. It must not be true. It must not be happening if you have to keep saying, oh, I love you. Or, oh, I have the highest amount. Oh, here's a big one. Oh, I appreciate you. And you don't feel appreciated. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that for a moment. So when it comes down to your historical moment, people are not going to write what you or say what you want them to say about your life. They're going to write and say what they have experienced from your life. I want you to think about that. So many times I've encountered people that wanted me to feel a certain way about my experience with them, when I had to tell them the truth about my experience with you is everybody wants to be thought well of and thought highly of. But are you living that life whereas it will speak for you? There was a song when I was coming up. It says, may the works I've done speak for me. May the works I've done speak for me. And then the next verse says, when I'm resting in my grave, may it always be said, may the works I've done speak for me. And I'm paraphrasing because we learned this song when we was a little kid, when I was a little girl. May the works I've done speak. Because see, that's what's going to happen when we create, live, and leave a legacy that speaks when we no longer can. Back to you, Tichet.
When we talk about that, I mean, that's such a powerful statement that makes change right there. When you create things that no longer that speak when you no longer can. I remember the first time I heard you say that. That shifted everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I started to look and I'm like, okay, if something happened to me today, what does my daughter have? What can she read? Who's going to tell my story, or who's going to pick up where I left off, and how would they know what to pick up? And I told my daughter, to put on my gravestone, Tichet Bradshaw, the visual encourager. She did that because I do the visual encourager. But who can tell my story if it's not recorded, written down, etched, carved, or somewhere where people can get a hold of it or see it? Who's going to tell your story better than you?
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about leaving things behind for people, for generations, so that it speaks, that gives you so much that you want to do. that takes your mind off of some of these distractions that we put our mind on. Because when you look at, if today was your day, like you said, are you happy with what you left behind? You realize that there's so much more to do that gives you more to do than the small stuff we've been worrying about. And when I say small stuff, I mean distractions, other people's opinions. You don't have time to be worried about that stuff. When you are giving birth to a baby, you don't have time to worry about who did what to who said what. All you're worried about is keeping your peace, protecting your energy, pushing when need to be pushed, resting when time to rest, and giving birth to a healthy baby. That's all you're worried about. It puts you in the moment. And that's the thing. A lot of us don't understand the moment that is before us. And another thing that you talked about too is that I know I love you. That's an unspoken language, right? When somebody says, I love you, but it's not shown, the unspoken language speaks louder. Your actions will always go before your words. How you experience a person and how you see a person or hear a person is two different things, because people can do a lot of lip service, but their actions behind that lip service, if it doesn't match, it's hard to trust it. So we don't have time to be questioning everybody that's around us, and we don't have time for that. So that unspoken language can go before you. That unspoken language, when you have that spirit of discernment, that unspoken language will tell you a story or two before the person opens their mouth. You'll know whether the person can be trusted or not, if the person mean you any good or not. I want relationships in these days where you don't have to tell me you love me. I want relationships where when you say I love you, I say I know. Because we say I love you too, and then you're saying, does he really love me? How do you know? How do you know you love me? Tell me why you love me. Right? You say, I love you so much with all my heart, and you look him in the eye and say, I know. That's a different response, because that I know comes before the I love you too, and right before his I know as well. I want to I know as well type relationships. When I say I know as well, it's not just I love you too, it's I trust you as well. I got your back as well. I'll be there for you as well. Like, I want as well relationships so that it's two-sided, where we're helping each other, we're trusting each other, we're protecting each other, we're loving each other, we're encouraging each other, and lifting each other up, and helping each other see that this is their historical moment. Because our historical moment, wouldn't it be nice to understand the moment while you're living it? But when you go and look back at your movie, you go, wow, I did that. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. We should be able to believe we did that. We should be able to live that moment and have that excitement. We go and look at the things that nobody can erase. We go and look at stories in the Bible or Black history stories, and we say, wow, it must have been amazing to be able to experience that. At the time that they were experiencing it, I don't know if they felt amazing more as just wanting to be an answer. I don't know if they felt amazing more as just wanting to help somebody, wanting answers. A lot of the amazing stuff that's going on today is going on because we want answers. We're marching because we want change. We want something to shift. We want a different narrative. We want a different picture to be painted. We want the truth. When you have the truth about something, that goes far beyond a language that's being spoken. When you have the truth about something, it shifts and it changes, not just temporarily. When somebody tells you the truth that they love you, this is not a temporary thing. That love goes far. That love pushes beyond one little argument. If somebody loves you, they're not going to walk away from you with one little argument. It should take some understanding that this is not what I want, and have it be, go both ways for you to walk away. It shouldn't be, oh, he told me, you get on my nerves, and that's it, and that's the end of the whole um, the whole relationship. Am I telling you to stay in a relationship where you arguing all the time? Absolutely not, because I would not. Staying in a relationship where you're arguing all the time, that's distraction. And when you are being distracted, how can you be your true self if you're so worried or so weighed down by what this person has been putting in your life? How can you run your historical moment with no energy, with no strength?
Mhm.
So this moment that is presented to you is offering you peace, love, and joy, and understanding, and truth, and wisdom, and power, and love. It's offering you all the things you ever wanted in your life. It's up to you to accept it. It's up to you to see it, and it's up to you to step into it. Nobody's going to walk into that for you. Nobody's going to do your life for you. Nobody's going to create the things that no longer speak for you. You have to do that. We want our names to be great, but are we willing to make the sacrifices? Are we willing to take the steps that it takes? Are we willing to take the courage? All of us want to be great, but do we even see ourselves as one of the greats? Will we treat ourselves as one of the greats? Because it's not about how others treated you. It's not about how you treated others. It is much more how you treated yourself. And that should be an extension to how you treat others. So if this is your historical moment, you don't want to miss this moment, because this moment is your defining moment. This is us coming here to confirm some things. We're making it clear. We're making it stand out. We're letting you know that the dark parts of your life is just contrast to make the light stand out. We're letting you know that this pain that you're feeling is temporary, that there's more beyond this heartbreak or the breaking success. There's more beyond this thing that you think is your life, but it's actually just a temporary circumstance. Your life is not about struggle. You're not made for struggle. You're not made to be annoyed and distracted and turned off all the time. Life should be a turn on. It should be ignited. Life should be encouraging and uplifted. And if you don't have a life that's encouraged, that is full of encouragement, is uplifting, and you have enlightenment, if you don't have those things, then you need to contact us on our website and go to our contact us page and let us know that you need somebody to help you move mountains, because that's why we're here. You can go to visualencouragement.com or theattractivethinker.guru. We have more than enough stuff to help you to give birth to your business, your dream, your goal, even yourself, in a healthy way now. Some of us are feeling the pain that we feel because it's time to give birth. Some of us, this historical moment is not easy. All of our historical moments may not be easy, but we can't misunderstand hard for struggle. Don't misunderstand hard for not being worthy of the moment. We don't want to misunderstand it, because just because it's hard right now does not mean that it's not for you. You have been equipped for it, ordained for it, justified for this moment. Everything in your moment, everything in your life led you up to this defining moment, this historical moment. And we're here to tell you to keep your eyes open, to stay awake, and don't miss it. We're here to tell you that the stuff that you're going in is not stopping you from living the life you deserve to live, because you deserve that life. That dream you have, you deserve that life. Our dream and our desires is not an afterthought. This is not an after they get this, and after they get theirs, and after yours, and after this is in a row, and after that start, and after I finish this, and once I write this down first, and I got to get my room clean, and I got to do all this stuff. Our dreams and desires are not an afterthought. It's a now present type of thing. And when I say present type of thing, I mean present, past, future, and also present gift type of thing, depending on how you want to see it. This moment offers you many gifts. So your historical moment comes from you being you, the authentic you. And you can't give that up trying to fit into somebody else's narrative. You can't give that up trying to fit into a box of the standard way of living. You can't give that up. This historical moment that you're in, it's for you. It's designed for you. It is being brought on by you and through you. This historical moment is just by you being yourself. It's amazing because I watch people that go viral and they always say, of all the things I put out there, this one went viral. The one where I was just being me, I was just having fun. Absolutely. You were just being you, trying to get an answer, and you went viral. That's how it happens. You showing up in your life, in your day, showing up. And I don't mean physically, like you come through the door and here you are. I mean, you come through the door of your heart and your mind and your spirit. When you walk through the door of your heart and your mind and your spirit, you make that determination that I'm going to show up in my day every day. That changes things. That changes the people around you. That may sift some people out of your life. It's going to shift some things around in your life. When you make a decision to show up in your day, you best believe that a manifestation of who you really are is going to show up. Back to you, Dr. Toni.
That is so fantastic and amazing. Tichet, you said something and I chuckled a little bit. You said, when I made the statement, create, live, the first time you heard it, create, live, and leave a legacy that speaks when you no longer can, you know, it alarmed you. And that's what it does to people. And that's what we want to do here on Beyond the Break. We want to startle you, shake you out of the slumber, and wake you up to the fact that you're on the stage of life. The curtains have not been pulled yet. The light, the spotlight is on you. You're a historical moment. How do you want to be remembered is another thing you said, Tichet. When you think about that, how do you want to be remembered? You get to map it out. You get to get a clean piece of paper and you map it all out. And like Tichet said, you're not trying to become a historical moment. In you being you and accomplishing the things that you desire for your life and experiencing the things that you want for your life creates a historical moment. It creates your historical moment. And what I want attractive thinkers to understand today is all of that power lies within you. You have the power. See, if you could just imagine this for a moment, that you have the power and that there are things on top of your power suppressing your energy and your power and your force and your the thing that you're the fuel that causes you to take action. There are just things that you've accumulated sitting on top of it. Think about that. It might be old clothes representing an old identity, and you're becoming a new person with a new identity. It might be old things that you no longer need, old pieces of jewelry that you don't wear anymore, or some old furniture that doesn't even represent your new style or flair. It could be old relationships that are just lingering around on little pieces of paper and envelopes and cards and little pictures and things like that, that's sitting on top of your authentic power. So when we start, just like when you go through your home, you start getting rid of things, or if you're moving and you're moving from one location to another, all of a sudden you see it's so many things that you need to get rid of. It's the same thing when it comes down to you creating your historical moment. You already have the power when you just be you. You just being you, and you're focusing on the things that you want to experience in this life while you're on the stage. Because see, we are all lights just passing through here. Our light begins to shine when we're conceived, and it shines all the way until our light goes out at the end. We're just a light passing through here, a historical moment. What can people capture? You know how fast light moves. It's one of the fastest things I know on in my existence, because when we were in school they always say at the speed of light, at the speed of light. Think about how fast light comes on when you flip the switch on the wall. Think about that. If we're just light moving through this earth, through this physical experience, that's not a long time. It might seem like it, but that's really not a long time to create a historical moment. And it doesn't take long to create a historical moment. I want you to think about that, attractive thinker. Wherever you are, that's the beauty. And Tichet and I just recently talked about this. Wherever you are in your journey right now is the time to make that move. Right now is the time to pivot and shift and change some things. Right now is the time to get rid of some things, lighten the load, create new energy. Right now is the time for us to create a historical moment. Because guess what? Whether we intentionally create it or not, a historical moment will be created for us. It will be spoken by others about us, about the life that we live, about their experience with us. So it's going to be written. You know, if you visit my website, theattractivethinker.guru, there's a audio series there called Write It or Be Written. And that title came out of me attending this particular funeral. When I attend funerals, the first thing I do is I get a copy of the obituary and I sit there for like 15 minutes in silence, just reading it. You know, everybody's greeting each other or encouraging and comforting each other and looking around and, you know, excited to see people you haven't seen in 20, 25 years. I don't do any of that. I get the obituary and I because you can learn more about the person and sometimes in their death than in their life. And I looked at it because I want to see what kind of life did they live? What did they do with the light that they were given on this planet? And I read through it and sometimes I'm mesmerized and sometimes I'm not because I, I don't think our lives are just intended for us to be born, breathe, and then die. Be born, breathe, go through the motions, hide, you know, shun our life, you know, suppress who we really are, and then we leave here, and people say just average things about them. Oh, they were a really nice person, or you know, things like I remember when I met them. It was quite an experience when I met them, and this and that and the other. But where's the fruit? Where's the fruit? And the fruit doesn't have to be this big old huge accomplishment. The fruit could be your energy, your spirit, how you make people feel. Your fruit could be you're an answer to someone. You don't need a title to be an answer, but you want to think about how do you want to be remembered? What is your historical moment that will be told in history for generations to come? Attractive thinkers, I want you to write this down. www.clarity.theattractivethinker.guru. Book a clarity session today to get crystal clear on how to create your historical moment, how to shift, how to get laser focus so that you end that procrastination and aren't bothered by those distractions. Visit the website, book your clarity session, choose a time on my calendar so we can come together and work together and get you on the right path to create a fantastic and amazing historical moment. I want to encourage you to click the like button under this video. Click the share button and share it with your circle of influence, because if it meant something to you, it will mean something to other people as well. And don't forget to subscribe and share. Don't forget to subscribe so that you're notified when Beyond the Break, Give Yourself a Fighting Chance goes live. Tell our audience how they can get in touch with you, the visual encourager.
Absolutely. You can find me on my website at www.visualencouragement.com. We provide mental support for movers and shakers, groundbreakers, pathfinders, and trailblazers, people who desire to move mountains but need help lifting the heaviness so that they can create a new vision for themselves. Go to my contact us page, put in your information, let me know how I can encourage you, uplift you, and enlighten you so that you can live a life of fulfillment in your historical moment beyond the break. Again, that's www.visualencouragement.com. See you soon.
Attractive thinkers, you always hear us say, our life's work, it is truly to make your life better. Remember, it is not what you're going through, it's how you're viewing it. Think attractively, and we'll see you soon.